All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me, coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely, still morning in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a little something. I also had to let you all know that Joseph and I did the interview of his upcoming YouTube page. And I have not uploaded because he asked me not to until he have completed 6 videos to upload. And with that being said, he's saying when I upload the video of me interviewing him regarding his new YouTube page, he wants to be able to have at least 6 videos up to where you all can tune in and just hear what he has to say. Regarding, hopefully, I'm praying that is truly dedicated by the Most High Yah. Okay, because I believe we're in the season of not ourselves in our life and what we want to do, what we want to say, what we want to be, how we want to lead, how we want to rule, how we want to control, how we want to do the things in the flesh. But I think we're in I don't even think it's a season. I think we're in the hour in which we should need to be about my Father's business and his business only. I sit back and I think about how, and the words that I spoke yesterday, ministering to 3 family members that I never seen a day in my life. But we ended up being on the phone for quite a long time. And I realized how potent the spiritual seed is when it's carrying the word. It is so potent. It's just like, can't just anybody digest it. It is not, it's just like he said, the narrow gate. And it's a situation that very few shall find. And you find yourself saying things and you be even learning as you speak, and you realize, wait a minute, these people ain't gonna get it. They are not gonna get it. And how you know is when you speak, you hear yourself. But to learn to be a good hearer, and it's not so much as learning, it is the spirit of the Most High Yah's gift to give you the spirit of discerning, and he has taught you through the spirit realm how to try the spirit by the spirit. I experienced one yesterday. I think it was like 7 p.m. and she was calling from Michigan, Township, Michigan, which is Detroit. Somewhere in Detroit, Township, Michigan. I had never met her, nor her mother, nor her family, but they are my relatives. And she began to talk, and she sounded like she had a little spirit in her. But she began to say, I told her as I listened to her, I realized this is a person that's really strange. This person is seeking the history of a family, and it can't be found. A lot of people think when they take that DNA that they got their history. Baby, you ain't got nothing but being a fool, because your history rests in the elders that has gone, that has passed. The greatest history you can receive is who is left that can give you what little history they can give you, and hope that they give it to you in spirit and truth. Most of the time they can. But if you can be a good hearer, then you can be a good speaker on the issues of family back in that day, and information of the family history. And as she was talking, we was talking, and she was so excited. But the strangest thing she asked me the name of my mother and her 7 children. Then she said, my daddy and his 7 children. I said, hold up. Hold up. You don't even know me. Why are you collecting, and what will it benefit you? She said, because my mother never told us. And that just melt. Oh, poor thing. Your mother never said anything. I know Aunt Helen, but her children, we don't know. And it's amazing what is taking place. And we talked and we talked and we talked. And I gave her the information. She pulled up a man from Texas that she said is also our family member. Now, I said, from Texas, he's our family members? And she said, yeah. She said, I can put him on a 3-way. I want y'all to listen to this. This was a gift from Yah to me. And the reason why I call it a gift, it is to assure me who I am in him. It was to assure me who I am in him and who our Negro men are in reality. And it's not just because what this man has said. It's what I've been teaching you about our men. Now, I want you to understand when Sister Deborah is talking about our men, I'm talking about a nation of Judah and Israel, but basically the tribe of Judah, because I come to be a prophetess in the midst of the tribe of Judah. And from what I see and what I behold, what I'm able to discern with all the gifts that has been given to me by the head of the body. I sit and I use those gifts, you guys. Why pour out all these gifts and you use them not? Because of the flesh and rulership of a man and a woman that wants to rule you from the outer man. Why not take on what the inner man has blessed you with and use it to the utmost? Because people don't know who they are and don't care who they are. They rather do things in the sight of the flesh of man and woman than to do things in the sight of an all-seeing Yah. So she insisted on bringing in this man on a 3-way because I was telling her about doing the history and of the family. And she said, well, this man, he's in our family too. And he and I have been on this for the last 2 years doing the history. And I want to key him in so he would love to talk to you. He would love to get information from you because you're telling me so much good information. This is what she's saying. And she brought this man in and she told him that, my cousin Deborah is on the other line, and I told her I was going to bring you in, and I want to bring you in on a conversation that we're talking about, and we're talking about family and searching the history of family members and who's who and what's what. She asked him very politely. She said, can you tell Miss Deborah what part of the family you are in, and so she can tell you what part she is in. No, this is what he said. No, I don't tell people nothing. She tell me who you are. Who are you? Right then, I discern the spirit. Instant, without me opening my mouth. See, you all think this is a play game. This thing is as real can ever get. If you think me showing you glasses is real, or what I'm trying to get you to see. You see these glasses. You only see what you believe. You only believe what you see. But there is a greater authority. And there is a greater power than what you can see and believe. And what you can behold and believe or hear and believe. There's a greater authority that has orchestrated the beginning to the end and everything in between that you miss in this journey of knowing it all or knowing what you think you know. So this man get on there roaring. I say, what is this? She asks you a simple question. Just answer her question. don't give my information out to just anybody. You tell me who you are and where you from and what you about. And all. He was just going on and on. And when he finished, I didn't have to say a word. The cousin that had brought us into one, she said, well, this is my cousin Deborah. She's from Missouri. And she's on the family here. And I was telling her about you. I told her about you. That also helped me do the search on the family. And that was it. He began to say, oh, she's not on our family. She's not a part of us. I'm on your daddy's side. I was like, and then he said, and anyway, the Woods would never be like her. Wow. He didn't hear my voice as far as saying anything or anything. He heard me say, she asked you a question. Just answer her question. So she had to come in on him to let him know, wait a minute, hold up, where you going? But she didn't know. And the first thing she told me is she has the gift of discerning. And I played that back after she hung up with him. I said, see, you said you had the gift of discerning. And you could not even discern his spirit. You see? And then she began to say, I told her I'm a YouTuber. I have a YouTube page. Oh, can I get on there and listen to what you... No, you can't. And it hurt her feeling. But I didn't... You think I care? You displayed that you don't know your left from your right. You're not going to come to the knowledge on Sister Deborah's page if the knowledge has not already came to you. That means it's nothing Sister Deborah can give you. Yah has given you the utmost. Sister Deborah is here just to feed your spirit, baby. I'm not here to give you the light. I'm not here I'm showing you the way with the light that you have. You see? That's it. I'm not trying to be spirit and truth. I'm trying to give you what spirit and truth given unto me. And if he given unto me and you are in the spirit, in the realm of the Ruach HaKodesh, then you too should be able to discern everything in the way I'm speaking, the way I'm teaching, or way I'm giving you information. You should suck it in like a vacuum. That's just like, because it's food for your spirit. Someone is constantly calling me, and I'm not going to accept right now. But I want to say to you all that I want you to really think really hard on what is actually taking place in this day and time. So I said a lot of things to my cousin, and after I got off the phone, I realized that I come to embrace what Spirit and Truth has already taught me regarding family. Don't even look to think that you're going to say something in Spirit and Truth and they're going to get it. No matter how you break it down to the Lord of the low, they still can't receive it. It's like unto the oil of the 10 virgins. They couldn't give their oil to those that did not have oil, even if they tried, because the oil that they had within them wasn't even their oil. It was oil that was put in them. Praise the mighty Yah. What is that saying? What is that saying? Give my Father back his power and get it out your mouth. Get it out your mind. Get it out your strength. Get it out your wicked flesh that thinks it controls my Father's power. You might as well stand down. So that's what needs to be done, is the power of Yah need to be recognized in this day and time. Whether you recognize it or not. Matthew 24 and verse 14. The gospel shall be preached as a witness. As a witness. So something is going to be witnessed. What is going to be witnessed? My Father's power. If you thinking for 1 minute he going to bring that word down here on your tail, no. Let's go there. Where's my Bible? Here. Let's go to the instructions and direction book in Matthew 24. Let's go to 14 because I'm going to rub that little thing in. Okay? I want to rub it in a little bit. My message today is going to cover lawlessness. And when I even say that word, it brings me to a level of the end. Okay? When you get to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 14, it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached. You have to know what the gospel is. Throughout the time Yeshua was coming, he said the gospel shall be preached. He was coming to preach the gospel of the kingdom. What's in the kingdom? All power and the word of Yah. But see, the word can't go forth without the power. Give that power back. It don't belong to you. I know you leading the flock, the mass, the multitude into the narrow gate. But the power that you think you have, guess what? It has never been for you. It is of Yah. And if he gave you power, he gave you power to take, walk, lead, guide, manipulate, deceive the multitude to go in that broad gate. And the power that you have to do it, Yah gave it to you. How you like him now? Okay, so in Matthew 24 and verse 14, it says the gospel. I want you all to understand the meaning of not comprehending Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. When you do not comprehend Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, and let me try something, you guys. Let me see something right quick. Okay, I'm sorry. When you do not comprehend Genesis 1 and chapter 2, you are lost today. Because important to be awakened and in the light and in spirit and truth, you have to have been able to comprehend Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. Why? Because when you read in this instructions in this direction book, in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, even though the Roman Catholic has smeared a lot of things, it gives you some very heavy power punch regarding the Father and what he's capable of doing and what he did do and is going to do. Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. This is why people go to all the other books, you guys. They go to all other part of Torah. They go to all the Hebrew and all the Greek. Because there, they can cause you to be lost. You can lose it. That's why they go there. You didn't know that, did you? See, the books that all these people are going through and going to justify, to clarify, and identify the word of Yah. Let me tell you something. None of those books redeem you. None of those books bring you to the light. None of those books bring you to the knowledge in spirit, the wisdom in spirit, nor the understanding in spirit. It takes you only to where the flesh suffer you to be, is in the flesh of its understanding. So when you find all the books that they have found that was added, that was taken away, that was missing, that was hidden, when you finish finding them books, they will not bring you to the light. They will not redeem you. They will not take you all the way to the Father, to his bosom. Why? Because we have rejected my Father in his fullness. When he said to me, Deborah in Hosea, where it says, my people that are called by my name. No. My people, they perish due to the lack of knowledge. If you think for 1 minute that knowledge is the knowledge of flesh, is the knowledge that men are teaching you. If you think that knowledge that he's talking about is the knowledge of all those lost books that they bring into your bosom. If you think that they talking about the knowledge in instructions and directions of the King James Bibles, let me tell you something. You as lost going to be and has been. Because the knowledge that Yah is speaking of is spirit and it is truth. Okay? Because when you go into this book, he said only to study, to show only yourself. Because it was never intended. And this is why they use this book to debate, to have polygamy. They use this book to tell you what they can and cannot do. They use this book, but then they don't have no spirit and truth to back it up, nor to back it down. Why? Because this book, you can take 1 million different religions and denominations and beliefs, and they all would have a different book. Different belief coming out of one book. What do that tell you? It's not the book. You got to wait and see who gonna pull up with the what? The Ruach HaKodesh. Why? Because that's the teacher. And that's what they're not doing. They're taking this book to debate, to deceive the mass. Especially, these books are so well groomed to deceive man at his fullness. Why? Because it's too much that Yah has put into them to do. And the books come to be used to battle. To battle each other. To debate each other. To go up against each other in every shape, form, and fashion. I want to say this, and this is a very strong power point to all men and women out there. Anything you do with the flesh, which is with your body, it has no irrelevant to righteous and spirit and truth. You get what I'm saying? You cannot take the actions of your flesh and stand it before the Most High Yah and say, with my flesh, I can wrap my head and Yah gonna honor it. With my flesh, I can put on a certain dress code and Yah is going to honor it. With my flesh, I cannot wear makeup and Yah gonna look at my flesh and see I don't have my head wrapped and no makeup and he's gonna honor it. Yah is gonna honor that I got many wives and having many children, and he has to honor it. How are you thinking Yah's going to honor all that you do in your flesh? How you bring your appearance out in your flesh? How you deceive many from the flesh level? But yet he's going to honor everything you do in the flesh. And he said, told you over and over, I have no connection, y'all, to your nasty flesh. To the point where I have eternally designed your flesh to enter a grave called hell. And then hell, which is the grave, is going to be tossed in the lake of fire. But I'm going to honor your flesh. This is one of the greatest deceiving tools that has been used throughout time. Easily to train the flesh of the mind. What sense will it be for me to get on here and look a role, act a role, dress a role? What would I gain in the role of a flesh when there's nothing eternal for the flesh but what? The grave. And then the grave flips over to the lake of hell. So why is it we're meditating, embracing the mouth of the flesh of men, when their message to you is to serve your creator in your flesh? Because what we teach you in the flesh, he got to honor it. This is what they think. They really think like that. And where do they go to get it? In a book where so many powers that bees has smeared so many things in it, to the point, if you go into this book, you can go in it two ways. You can go in it with your eyes closed, or you can go in it with your eyes open. Whichever way you go, one would counteract the other. They have nothing in common. That's the difference, even in the eyes, y'all. You can see in the natural, or are you going to be able to see in the spirit? You can hear in the ears natural, or you can hear in the spirit. You get what I'm saying? It dictates who you are and who you were born to be. Either the spirit or the flesh. So when you see these men, I say it the way that I feel is best need to be said. When you see these men hanging on the balls of a man that's leading them, it's because they want something from his balls. They want what he have. They want what he got. They want that feel of the flesh. They want that desire of the flesh. They want the power of the flesh. They want the will of the flesh. They want the action of the flesh. They want the finances of the flesh, the wealth of the flesh. So they look at the man's balls, they grip onto it and say, I'm going to hang firm till I get what I want to get, because I want to get what he got. I want to be what he has. I want to be like him. I want to dress like him. I want to have all the things of the world like he do. I want to have land. I want to have property. I want to be a king. I want to be a leader. I want to be a ruler. I want to be all those things in my flesh. I have sold out to hang on a man's flesh balls than to be on the spiritual line with Yah. And this is where the power of judgment to the whole house of Israel today. It's been going on. Why? Because we're past the day of captivity, but we haven't passed it. It's still in the hand of the Most High Yah. Somewhere in the line, they tell you all, we awake and this is the truth. They did. But now one of them can tell you why they're still in the promised land. In the captivity. They can't tell you. Because Yah never gave them the order. Because he never led them by the Spirit. That's why they don't and they won't go into Deuteronomy endgame. Because they're not led by the Spirit. They're only led by the flesh. The flesh only teach you what they want you to know enough that they may deceive you in the midst thereof. But what I look at is I look at the spirit of why y'all allow that. And then he has to shut me down just as easy and calm, delicate, like a little baby. Deborah, because heavens had already orchestrated it. How you like me now? I said, I love you. Because I love the way he orchestrated the things from the heaven level. So when things take place down here, guess what? I can see it only the way heaven had already orchestrated it. Because ain't nothing that he has not orchestrated that's going to hit the earth and not going to rumble the way he has already rumbled. He had orchestrated it from heaven. You see, that's a person who believes in spirit and truth, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, who comes to bring spirit and truth of the whole matter. He ain't come to bring you no lie. He come to give you is what he want you to have. And what he want me to have, he want another person to have this. He want another person to have this. That's why I look for those that takes the baton and continue to run. So when my son Joseph said he's stepping onto YouTube and he's going to do the work, I'm looking at him to run in the light. I'm not looking at him to run in the darkness. And if he don't run in a direction to the light, then I'm going to be like on him like I don't know what. Just like I'm on everybody else, I will be on him as well. One thing about my mother was saying to me yesterday as I talked to her. She said, anybody that come up on your children, she say, they gonna know something. She said, I look at all your kids and I just see all their, it's just something about them she see. Want me to tell you what she see? First of all, they came out of a household that had a mother and a father. But, watch this. It was a special household that the father was not the head. He was not a leader. He was not anything outside of what the father wanted him to be. And it was because I remember when we were in our marriage, 5 years, I think it was. And the father came to me. He said, I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. I know you think you can nail this and you're going to eventually be revealed this. But he said, I want to tell you right now, the way that this man came to you, this is the way that he was. This is not the man that became the way that he is. This is a man that was who he is. In a sense, don't ever blame yourself for the way that he is. He came to you this way. And all that time, I kept blaming Yah. Because the role of me was strictly a Proverb 31. Strictly. I give you one part of it. Just one that wasn't me. The rest of them was me all over again. Notice it seems as he trusted in her. It wasn't that she was ruling it, but yet she was ruling it. See, you got to go in the spiritual realm of what was going on. You would never, ever, ever hear men in the flesh break that thing down in the spirit. Because they couldn't. It's not saying that we as women are to be likened to this, because this is heaven talking. This is heaven speaking of the Proverbs 31. This is not an earthly flesh and blood thing. But when I got into it and tried to master it, I'm like, wait a minute, now it's one I'm lacking. I said, but all the other one, it is me. And that's when the Father taught me that this does not represent a woman on the earth. You see? But if you wanting to teach somebody, you wanting to know something, that Proverbs 31 woman noticed the man wasn't in the scenery. He just trusts in her. He was just trusting that she had it. She got it. When that's how my marriage has been. Like unto the Proverbs 31, but Yah said I can't apply it to my marriage. It is an example from the heaven. For what? From Yah to us as a people. Going back to a parable. But if someone ever questioned a Proverbs 31, hey, here you go. I can step in it and out of it and all around about it. Because everything she did, Sister Deborah did. I've had 3 businesses, brought in money through my business, has always had good jobs with good benefits. Let me tell y'all, I had 6 children. I birthed my children. I breastfed my children. I homeschooled some of my children. Let me tell you something. That's why I can't allow the flesh of a man to be a teacher unto me. I search and desire for Yah to bring forth a man of his own spirit that he may lead us up out of here. And don't think he ain't going to do just that. Yah going to bring a man in our lives that's going to have the lamp to the way out. And he going to lead us the way. And we're going to know that he is of Yah, because it's going to be Yah in him that's going to lead us about here, show us the way. Come on, y'all, let's go. Come on, this person is going to be all about it. All about who? The Father. He's not going to be out here trying to dress a certain way, wear brand, trying to buy all the land he can and get all the weapons he can and let all these men hang from his balls because he feels like I'm a king, I'm a leader, I'm a ruler. I am their idol God. And then everybody walk around that's in the broad gate following that nonsense because they cannot see the light. They know nothing about spirit and truth, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. They have not the spirit of Yah in them. That's why they hang and cling to a man's balls. And that's what I'm going to title this message. Hanging on to a man's balls. I know. You say, well, okay, Deborah, is that a good word to use? You tell me. Truth of the whole matter is what it is. And that's what they're hanging on to get to where they're trying to go. Why? The prophetess is sitting here to judge their tales. That's why I can say what I say. But I'm not going to lead you in the ways of the world. I'm going to give you examples so that you may see it in the parables of what I'm trying to teach you in the spirit. If that's the way to get those that still feel they have to live in the parables, if I can set parables that make you think and your light click on and say, wait a minute, now I understand. Because those that Yeshua taught in parables was by great number, was the multitude. He gave them parables. But the word he chose, it was chosen by heaven, by the Father, the 12. Hallelujah. And he gave them the what? The word. So know that he that has the word can give you parables. But by and by, y'all can cause those who receiving parables to then receive the word. From who? Those that he have sent, his servant. But if you're running around here following a monkey-mouthed man and a monkey-mouthed woman regarding the things of the flesh, the things that satisfies and give pleasure and give honor and give authority to the flesh, you are following he that is born of the flesh. She that is born of the flesh. Okay, so I wanted to lay down to you the end is going to come when the power, which is the gospel, is preached as a witness. So the witness is going to be the power of Yah shown to them for the whole world to see. For, what does it say? To the whole world as a witness. It's not the word. It's going to be the power that the word sent down to the power to bring forth. And to bring it forth is not what he said, and the world is going to hear. He says the world is going to see. It's going to see it. So it got to be some great power. And I appreciate the Father doing that, because it, to me, as a flesh that can see and hear both spiritual and natural, let me tell you something. I look at that and I say, Father, you don't even have to do that. But thank you for doing that for them. Thank you so much. Because that just shows me how he is not like we are, as in the flesh, nor in the spirit. He is so separate. His ways are not even our ways. It's not. Nowhere near it. Because with me, I wouldn't have gave them the time of day. But him, he can do that. He can do that thing. So he tells me we're in the time period of lawlessness. And yes, that brings a dark shadow before me. But it's to the one that's in the spirit. It's not to bring fear. Because you can't have fear in the flesh if you have fear in the spirit. Those two different ones. The one in the spirit overrides the one in the flesh. So now the flesh has to stand all the way down, because the one in the spirit is the only thing you need to be. That's the only thing that is greater. The fear in the spirit, because that's what was branded in your spirit before you got here, which was righteous, belief, faith, and fear. It was a brand for the will of the Father. And then you have righteous, belief, faith, and fear. And it's a brand in your flesh. And this is what they're teaching. And this is what these men are holding on to their balls of another idol god. They don't understand this idol god that you're holding the balls is of the flesh. And you're holding his balls. I don't know if y'all ever seen, I don't know if it's a calf or what it is. But you can see it in New York. We got one in Missouri where it's a statue, and they showing his balls hanging. They showing his balls. It's one in New York too. They showing this big old iron calf, and then he's got these balls. They want you to see that this calf is a male and it has balls. Well, this is what I'm trying to say to you all. You have to be able to step into, you can't, you really can't. So I'm going to say you have to be able to. When you walk in the spirit, you see when Sister Deborah said they hanging on to his balls, she's sending in a parable to ride on in, to bring light to what is really going on in the darkness. And that is they're gripping these men balls and they're idling them as a god. Okay? What did happen? That's what our forefathers did. The same likened to their children today. What would be their idol god? Now it's a flesh. Then it was a flesh too. They wanted a God that they could see and believe, hear and believe, touch and be around. And the things that idol God does, oh, I got this. Come on, y'all. Come on. I give you this. I give you this. That's how they get them. That's how they get them. They get them on in their circle and they show them the things of the world like Satan did. He did it to who? Yeshua. Why would you all think that Yeshua went to that mountaintop? You think he went there for the hell of it? No, he went there for me, to show me how Satan rumbles on the earth. And I thank the Most High for that example, because he's saying to me, if he can do it to the Son of Man that I sent down to be the sacrifice, then know that every flesh on the earth, it's going to be done to them. But except, like Yeshua said, it is written. See, that's what Sister Deborah take y'all to the message to where it is written. Meaning, before the foundation of the world high, the Father power was in full control as it is today. So you can go around here and sling it like you got it and you don't have nothing. So I am going to title this message is hanging on to the flesh of man's balls, because you think it's going to get you something and you're not hanging on to. And you know the saddest thing about it, when they hang on to these men and women balls, now I said these men balls, they're not hanging on because they love Yah. They're not hanging on because spirit and truth. They're not hanging on it because it's the light. It's the materialistic things of the flesh that cause men to have an idol god of man. And they hang on to his balls. And they ain't going to let go. Because he's going to show them ways that they can get the things of the world. And not worry about the things of the spirit. Because it's more important to build up on the treasures in the earth than the treasures in heaven. While deceiving them at the same time. You can't serve two spirits. You can't serve two gods. Either you're going to let go the flesh or you grip the spirit. But guess what? It ain't even your choice. Heaven has already orchestrated which lane you're going to run in. Praise the mighty God. I love giving the power back to my Father, who orchestrated any and everything from the heaven. So I want you all to understand. Even Paul talk about in Romans 1. I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of Yah. See, you didn't know that, did you? When Jesus, as they call it, Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach came, he came preaching the gospel, telling you about the power of Yah. See, you thought the gospel was the loudmouth men. What they teaching out of their mouth. What they preaching out of their mouth. Their sermons out of their mouth. No, that's not the gospel, baby. That ain't never been the gospel. The gospel is the power of my Father. That means if they teaching without the power, they are not preaching the gospel. See, the gospel is the power of Yah. So therefore, it ain't even the instructions and directions. It is the power of Yah. And who is the power of Yah? Yah himself speaking out of you. That's the gospel. You see how you have millions and trillions of churches on every corner? Everybody teaching something totally different out of one book. How could that be? Because now one of them tarried and waited for the true teacher. They decide to teach from this book, to beat down people from the book, because they came down here to teach from the book and not from the spirit. Yah comes down to abide himself in the spirits in which he has already assigned himself to come in to be their teacher, because they are his servants from heaven. Okay, so he's saying that there's lawlessness out here at great number. And he told me it's not going anywhere. So what happens? I have to trust him preparing me every time I see this. And the main place that I see it is amongst let me say, he don't want me to say that, is amongst the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah has a very high level of wicked and evil that's taking place in this day and time. And he don't have no problems with you running around here supporting evil and wicked and justifying it and clarifying and identifying it and not speaking against it. He that is against the Most High Yah is an enemy to the Father. Okay, so therefore people who are not covering these things that's happening on these devil platforms, where these devil platforms are seen all over the world, and you see them talking about black and white marriage, black and white, and what else do they talk about? Polygamy and getting wives, being kings and leaders and rulers, and having land and having everything. Y'all, that's all for the flesh. That is all show for the flesh. And if you cannot see through your natural eyes that does not represent the spiritual God, then there's something wrong with you. No, it ain't something wrong with you. It orchestrates in you your destiny is for born of the flesh. See, born of the flesh is clearly seen. Like I told my cousin on the phone last night, prepare yourself to feel as I speak. That's what I told her. You at the table and there's two plates. Both plates have food. Both plates are food. Whichever plate you choose to eat from is where you come down here to represent. From where? From the heavens. And you rest assured, if you choose the plate for the flesh, which most likely you will. Why? Because your flesh is making this choice between the spirit and between the spiritual food or fleshly food. He that goes for the fleshly plate is of the flesh. He that goes for the spiritual plate is for the spirit. Easily. You cannot train yourself, no matter how you try, to fake it until you make it. Oh, I'm going to reach for the spiritual one. Because guess what? The spiritual plate ain't going to reach for you. What do you mean, Deborah? The spiritual plate ain't going to reach for you. But the fleshly plate is going to speak to you in your flesh. Say, look here. Don't you like these? It's going to look good. The presentation of the food on that plate for your flesh is going to be just right. It's going to be exactly what you like. And it's going to play on your fleshly mind. And you're going to say, forget this. I want this one. Because the desires of your eternal life is based on those two plates that's put before you. And don't think Yah ain't put two plates before you, because he has. He puts the spiritual plate and he puts the natural plate. He's letting you know. See, that's why I didn't let them root out the tare from the wheat. The wheat from the tare. The tare from the wheat. I didn't let them separate them. Because I had a plan. They're going to separate them on their own self. Because that's what I'm going to do. Because I did it from heaven. I will do the separation. Why? Because he has already done it from the heaven. So there are people, I told her, when you eat from that natural plate, you are of the natural. When you eat from the spiritual plate, you are from the spiritual. And this is what bothers me more than anything. How can they read in their instructions and directions without seeing many scriptures separating what you do in the flesh from what you do in the spirit? Who you are in the flesh versus who you are in the spirit. Who is the spirit and who is the flesh? It's telling them throughout why is it they don't get it? Because when they read it, they make it something that they want to make it to be in the flesh. Because they are of the flesh. So they cannot read even the instructions and direction book in the order of the spirit. Why? Because they believe they come down here to represent the flesh and not the spirit. So they would never get it. And this is what you see today. And this is why you see a mass, a multitude gripping the balls of men and swinging on them and holding on dear because they are of the flesh. And it's nothing they could do. It's nothing they can do to change it. Why? Heavens has already signed it in and signed it out. What do you mean? That's what Yeshua was saying on the mountain. And then the third time Satan came and said, it is written. Satan told Yeshua, it is written that if he jump off the mountain, the legion of angels gonna catch him. He played it right back on because Yeshua told him twice. He told him, it is written. That means you can sit here and tempt me. But heaven's already got it all jocked down. It ain't gonna work. Because heaven's got it already orchestrated the way I'm gonna rumble on this mountain with you dealing with me mentally. See? He went on and telling you. He didn't turn to what was greater in him or greater that was coming to abide in him. That's why when he came down, the angels had to minister to him. They ministered to him in the flesh. Because if he was God, the angels don't need to minister to him. He is God. That's where a lot of people don't understand. When Yeshua went to that mountaintop, he went alone. He went in the flesh because we too shall go to the mountaintop of the flesh. But that mountaintop of the flesh would tell us, are we born as flesh? If Yeshua was born to and come down as the flesh, he would have did everything Satan said without a blink of an eye, without even questioning. But cause he was born of the spirit, he remained up there. Let him know it is written. Where is it written? In heaven. He had to keep saying that to Satan because Satan was trying to figure out, now, do you have that power with you? Do you have that power with you? That's what Satan was only asking. That's why he was wanting him to do certain things to see if he had the power with him. But he wasn't allowed to take the power on the mountain because he wanted us to know our flesh is going to be tempted just as he was tempted.